This video chart presentation of Washington Mutual. Washington is, of course, a bankruptcy play, trading their ticker WAMUQ. Just a huge bounce here in May, all the way down around 4 cents, all the way up to 24 cents. Given most of that back at this point, but trying to hold a base level right through here and actually picks up some more support a little bit lower. I'm going to run through these indicators real quick. As to be expected, there's just a lot of pullback in the indicators, as we'll see everywhere. Pretty bearish at this point, but it is starting to show some signs of life. See the MACD starting to trend back towards zero a little bit. I'm not crazy about this histogram making what a lot of people call an M pattern, as it can be a sign of weakness, so it's something to pay attention to see if it's going to continue to hold this trend back towards zero. Same way with the PPO. ADX has come way down, lost all its steam, strength of trend, got down here around 10, trying to put together some upward pressure now. Pretty neutral right now, though, not getting a lot from the ADX, even though it does look like there's trying to get some strength to trend. Not giving any real hints as to which direction that trend is. MFI is something that we always talk about. 7 gets pulled away from 14 and 21. Here comes a bounce back towards it. These two components of the indicator, they will slide back. They just move a little bit more slowly. Again, though, right now, pretty neutral MFI. Accumulation distribution and shake and money flow, both showing selling pressures pretty heavy in this. Of course, going back to the area where it was peaking out at those highs. All this is pretty much to be expected. The stock's on a pretty hard slide. CCI, though, is starting to channel upward. That's a good thing to see. Full Stow is another good example of how hard it can be for it to break through 50, get to the upper half. Chart just can't gather any momentum, staying to the bearish side of things. And Trick's kind of going along with the MACD and PPO, starting to put together a little bit of an upward trend, as well as the RSIs. Again, kind of at a key point, trying to push through 50. You can see how bearish this chart's been, going all the way back into this area once it broke back down through 50. So indicators are lending some hints this might be trying to find a bottom. Still pretty bearish overall because of this downtrend. But it looks like they're trying to gather a little bit of strength of momentum and strength of trend. What I'll be looking for in this chart is there is a little bit of support right there at 7 cents. In the near term, that's what I'd be looking for to hold. But if it does fall south again, I'll have my eye on the 6 cent area. You see, there's a pretty good area of resistance historically. WAMUQ was in a pretty hard channel back in this area back at the beginning part of the year. Classic TA says that old resistance should act as support. And you can see it bounced off of it a couple weeks ago. And that's the upper end of that channel, with the south side of it being right around 5.5 cents. Now, it's still a pretty hard fall from where it is at 7 cents. My point there is if this continues its bearish trend and wants to drop, I'll be looking for support to get picked back up there and perhaps putting together another bounce. Down at these levels, the percentage from the bounces come pretty quick. And technical traders will be looking for these old support areas to come back into play. Now, if it can put any pressure together to the north side, I'd be looking right there around 8 cents as the first level of resistance. 50-day moving average is there. It's always a source of dynamic resistance, and it's tying in with some static resistance. So that should be a pretty tough spot for it. But beyond that, it doesn't really come back into play until up around a dime. I'm not really going to try and identify any after that. You'd be looking around the 11.5 cent mark. And then it's pretty substantial upsides all the way up to around 17 cents or so before any real resistance comes into play. But primarily, this chart caught my attention because of trying to hold a little near-term support at 7 cents, and because of the fact if it's going to drop off, it should get pretty strong support around 5.5 and 6 cents. Stock does trade with pretty decent volume, 1.3 million shares traded. That's actually the light side. You can see that typically this trades several million shares a day, so there is liquidity in it. Right now it's in a pretty interesting position, so I'm going to throw it on the watch list, see how it deals with these moving averages, see if it can hold some new support, and possibly try and put together an upward trend. But as always, this is merely my interpretation of the Washington Mutual chart. Thank you for watching, and trade smart.